Hi there, how are you? I hope you're well and healthy. Thank you very much once again for joining me in this video, the second lesson in the course for absolute beginners. So the title of this lesson is Accent on the Last Syllable. So as described in the title, what we'll do in this lesson is purely to focus on the accent on the last syllable. So when it says accent on the last syllable, we are referring to the stress on the word in the Welsh language. In English, for example, the accent tends to fall on the first or the second syllable. So for example, in the word example, the stress is on the second syllable, so we say example. So the first syllable is weak, the second syllable is strong, and the third syllable is weak. There's only just one strong syllable in the word in English, normally. For example, if we take another word, congratulations. So there are 5 syllables in the word congratulations, and as normal, the accent falls on the second syllable, but then we have a second accent on the fourth syllable, which is a weak accent. So the strong accent on the second syllable is known as the primary accent, and the weak accent on the fourth syllable is known as the secondary accent. Once again, the word is congratulations. And in terms of the accent in Welsh, it's very simple. The rule is the accent always occurs on the last syllable in the multi-syllabic word, without exception. It's as simple as that. So for example, if we have the word llyfr, even though we don't have a vowel in the last syllable of the word llyfr, which means book, nevertheless, the final syllable of the word llyfr is accented, and as well as that, we have an accent on the first syllable as well. So the word llyfr is a double accented word, and similarly in the word papur, if one listens very carefully to the duration of each syllable, they are very roughly equal, perhaps with the last syllable slightly longer than the first syllable. And once again, this indicates that this is a double accented word, papur. When we get to the word ychydig, once again, the accent is on the last syllable, and in front of that, it's preceded by 2 short syllables, ychydig, ychydig. That means slightly. And then we have the word glaswellt, which means grass. And once again, it sounds like the 2 syllables in the word glaswellt have equal length, so this is a double accented word. So the trend in Welsh is, although the accent always occurs on the last syllable in a multi-syllabic word, in many words that have more than one syllable, the ending of the word is double accented as well. So those are words that have more than one syllable, but what about the words that have only one syllable? Well, in this case, the same rule applies. The accent occurs on the last syllable, therefore it occurs on the only syllable if it's just one syllable. Therefore we have words such as môr, meaning sea, byd, meaning world, coed, meaning woods, that are all monosyllabic and are accented, and then also verbs such as gweld, meaning to see, mynd, to go, dod, to come, bod, to be, which are all accented. And then we have adjectives such as deg, which means fair, iawn, which means all right, and mwy, which means more, which are all accented as well. But in the case of monosyllabic words, we do have a rule that governs when words of one syllable are not accented. And these are when they are common conjunctions, adjectives, particles, and participles that serve as enclitics or proclitics to adjacent words. Therefore, what is meant by an enclitic or proclitic? Well, these are non-accented auxiliary words that precede an important word, and a proclitic is an auxiliary word that follows an important word that are non-accented. So for example, in the verbal phrase oeddwn, the word is single syllabic. It means that. So when we say oeddwn, that means that I was. So the is an enclitic to oeddwn, and the is non-accented. And the same applies to other verbal constructions like am I, which means that he is, or it is, or she is. The is unaccented. And similarly, in the verbal phrase ev welodd, the in front of welodd is an enclitic. It carries the meaning that. So ev welodd means he that saw, which means he saw, and the is unaccented. And similarly, in the word or phrase aeth, is an affirmative statement marker. So aeth means he went in an affirmative way, and the is unaccented as well. So basically, when we're talking about accents and monosyllabic words, these tend to be accented, except those monosyllabic words that serve as auxiliary words. Now, having explained the relatively simple rules governing the accent of words in Welsh, I have come across in textbooks time and time again that say that the accent in Welsh, and also the Brythonic language generally, including Cornish, is accented on the penultimate syllable in words that have more than one syllable. And actually, in recent years, I've done quite a bit of research on this particular matter, even to the extent of conducting scientific timings of syllabic lengths using audio software such as Audacity to measure the time duration of each syllable in each Welsh word in a sentence, in a speech, and my findings confirm my hypothesis that the accent, that is to say, the longest syllable in every Welsh word, is always the last syllable, even in the words that have a double accent, and this finding contradicts what is being taught in the textbooks that I've come across, which make the claim that the accent in Welsh words normally fall on the penultimate syllable in the metric pattern of a spondee, which is known in terms of Welsh poetic terminology as a goben, when a word ends with a double accent, such as llyfr, cathod, pentref, enw, aber, and Abertawe. And I think I've found the explanation as to why these textbooks keep on saying that the accent falls on the penultimate syllable. I think it's because in Welsh poetry, a strong rhyme is one that ends with an iamb, that is to say, with a final syllable of the line ending with a strong accent, and the syllable preceding that being a weak accent, so that you have a tada type of rhythm. So that is regarded as a strong accented rhyme. However, if you have a couplet where the first line ends with the rhythm of a spondee or goben, that is to say, two equal syllables such as llyfr or cathod or pentref with the d rhythm, and you have the second line ending with a tada, so the tada in the second line rhyming with the d in the preceding line is regarded as a weak accented rhyme or an unaccented rhyme. Therefore, in Welsh poetic terminology, the second syllable in a double accented word, the second accent in a double accented word, is regarded as unaccented. So I think this is where the confusion lies, where we have linguists writing textbooks about the accent of the Welsh language, coming across the Welsh poetic tradition that says that the second accent or the second syllable in a goben is unaccented, and therefore making the assumption that therefore in Welsh words the accent tends to fall on the penultimate accent, Whereas, as I've found from my scientific research through the audio software, that the longest syllables in the Welsh word always fall on the final syllable, even in a goben or a double accented word. So this is something to be aware of, because I find it quite common for the textbooks to claim that the accent in the Welsh word falls on the penultimate syllable, which, according to my finding, is not strictly accurate. It's often said that the Welsh language is a musical language, and I find this very true in many different ways. But one of the ways in which I find it true is in the fact that the accent falls on the last syllable, because when this happens, I find that it adds a certain lyricism or musicality to the phrase. For example, if one compared the English and the Welsh, if one said the phrase in English, the sentence ends like this. Because the accent in English is always at the front, then the actual feeling of the phrase is quite upright. Whereas if one said in Welsh the equivalent phrase, Mae'r brawddeg yn diwedd fel hyn, because the accent falls at the end of the word every single time, then we have a kind of lilting, which we can exaggerate and make even more melodious or lyrical, like this, Mae'r brawddeg yn diwedd fel hyn, and just elongate the final syllables to make it sound more musical and melodious. So, when one hears people speaking with a Welsh accent, I think this is what happens. Because of the accent being placed on the last syllable, it gives us a much more melodious kind of feel. So what we'll do for the reading exercise is that I'll read a line by myself the first time, and then if you could listen to how I say it, and then copy me again the second time I read the line, so that we get the lyrical, melodious feel of the rhythm of the accents of the Welsh language. If we can get used to doing it in the English language, then it'll make it easier to say it with the correct rhythm in the Welsh language. So let's start off with the first sentence. So I'll say the first line by myself, and if you could listen carefully, and then when I repeat it the second time, if you could say it together with me as well. So here it goes. My name is Hywel. And if you could repeat, my name is Hywel. I live in a village outside Swansea. I live in a village outside Swansea. The name of the village is Penllyn. And if you could repeat, the name of the village is Penllyn. I live with my father, mother, brother, sister, a dog and 2 cats. And if you could repeat, I live with my father, mother, brother, sister, a dog and 2 cats. My father's name is Evion. And if you could repeat, my father's name is Evion. My mother's name is Mevanwy. And if you repeat, my mother's name is Mevanwy. My brother's name is Pris. And if you could repeat, my brother's name is Pris. My sister's name is Llynos. And if you could repeat, my sister's name is Llynos. Our dog's name is Feido. And if you could repeat, our dog's name is Feido. Our cats are called Ginch and Spuds. And if you could repeat, our cats are called Ginch and Spuds. And that is it for this first lesson. Just a brief lesson to introduce the accent in Welsh. if you wish to do any homework which is purely voluntary, then I would recommend to pause this video right now and to repeat the previous passage in the manner as taught by yourself, focusing on the accent in Welsh, always on the last syllable. Thank you very much for taking part in this course and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful, and that you'll join me in the next lesson. In the meantime, keep safe and healthy, and have a nice day. Or, as they say in Welsh, tan y tro nesaf, cadwch saff ac yn iach, a hwyl.